Me before hosting The Fragrance Apprentice and Fragmental on my live stream.
I'm going to find out what makes them tick, how they got their fearsome reputations, and why they're considered some of Britain's deadliest men.
Me welcoming a new YouTube reviewer to the fragrance community.
You're going into a dark world, you know what I mean?
Me before interviewing Roger Dove.
I just hope he's a fan of Cockneys.
Where The Fragrance Apprentice lives.
It's one of the most deprived ghettos in the UK.
Me on Sunday after a Saturday night vindaloo.
You know, my bum is flapping a little bit.
How YouTube fragrance reviewers top up our AdSense income.
Gun crime.
Me on the phone to my local police station last night.
Excuse me, I've just had 5 kilos of cocaine stolen off me and £320,000 of illegitimate money.
Me after humiliating another internet troll with a sarcastic reply to their comment.
I can remember raising my head to the sky and letting out a primeval roar of victory.
Me when Pornhub says the site is down for maintenance.
That is the worst case scenario.
Me walking into the pub for the first time since lockdown ended.
I was back to my old self.
All right, girls?
Hiya.
You all right, love? A couple of salts. Right up my street.
And guys, if I'm honest, this is how I actually feel about all the other fragrance YouTubers.
If I wanted to, I could turn their lives upside down. If I wanted to, I could make them have nightmares about me. I could make them see me in a dream because the fire, the will to crush your enemies is still there.
Hello, welcome back to the video. So today, oh, by the way guys, if you like my videos and you think they're a little bit different, please subscribe to the channel. It really helps me. And, you know, I'd like to see those numbers go up. So I really appreciate that. Also, I have a Patreon group for an extra video, one a week. And it only costs $2 a month. I think that's quite good. There's a link for that in the description. Video today then, we're going to talk about my best fragrances of 2021, my new pickups this year, kind of mainly 2021 releases, not exclusively. I've kind of cheated a bit, but yeah, so of course I talk about old fragrances a lot, but new stuff does come out. I've got some great ones, mostly released this year. There's one that I just lent back into 2020, and there's actually an old one, but the idea is fresh stuff for me that's most excited me this year, with a leaning towards mainly stuff that actually came out this year. There are some absolute bangers. We're going to flip the old camera angle and get into it in a second. The other little thing, you know I love a fight, guys, and particularly if I can get something going on my Fragcom lives, I love that too. And apparently some guy called Joey Cannelloni has been having a go at me. He took the mickey out of me on his live stream, saying my videos weren't funny, and I had a look actually at what he said, and so I decided to respond on TikTok. Stay tuned to the end of the video to see how I responded to this humble knave. Let's get in to this video now. If I'm totally honest, one of the best releases of 2021 was Bon Viveur by Naughton & Wilson. Since that's my company, it would be unbecoming to include it officially in this list. Here's what Lania Smith had to say about it in a great recent review. Check it out. Links in the description if you are interested to get yourself a bottle.
The dry down is so elegant, so smooth, so sophisticated. It speaks of class, style, it's what's the word I'm looking for? It's aristocratic. It's a wonderful fragrance.
Okay, folks, so let's kick off the list with a new house for me. I've got 2 fragrances by them now, and this one is called Eden Falls from the house of MICALLEF, a new house that I hadn't had any fragrances of before. This one actually was sent to me for free, so I was very grateful for that, but I wouldn't be putting it in the video if I didn't really think it's good. So Eden Falls, a 2021 release, and it was a really interesting, or is a really, really interesting sort of citrus fragrance, I guess you can call it. So I'll give you the note listing for this one. You've got pink pepper, bergamot, and tangerine in the top, and then you've got coriander, jasmine, and neroli in your mid. And your base notes are musk, milk mousse, whatever that is, vanilla and patchouli. So it's a really, really beautiful, fresh, very aromatic fragrance. There's hints of citrus in here, but somebody described it as giving the feel of fresh water running over a mossy rock in a beautiful waterfall. And I think waterfalls were sort of in the advertising pictures that they used. And it really has that. It's a very, very nice longevity. Definitely a freshie, but not a stereotypical one. It's not like Neroli Portofino or an Acqua di Parma fragrance. It's really, really interesting. So I'll just give you a quick blast of some of the descriptions that I found on Fragrantica, because I find sometimes that can give you an idea. So here's somebody on Fragrantica called Perfume Library, and it sounds a bit like advertising blurb, but I think it is an actual review, and I thought it summed it up really well, actually. Channeling crystal energy and tranquility through M. MICALLEF's Eden Falls with bergamot, tangerine, wood and moss. It evokes the wonder of a glorious green garden in a faraway land untouched by humans. It is pouring new spring rainfall, drenching the trees. It's lovely. A really, really fresh, aromatic and different fragrance. Very glad to have added that to the collection this year. Guys, small point here. The House of MICALLEF did very kindly give me an affiliate code and link. I've decided not to use it because I think that I don't want to do that. I'm trying to be different on my channel. And I do feel that if you're getting a little bit of a kickback on saying something's good, yeah, it does kind of detract from the objectivity. So let me know what you think about that. So I'm telling you it's good for one reason. That's because I really genuinely think it is. I'm not going to use the affiliate link. I will link them in the description of the video if you want to check it out. But I'm getting nothing for it. I'm trying to be above such behaviour. Let me know what you think about that down below. Moving on then, here's one that I featured in a recent video. And I'm really, really astounded by this amazing cheapie Acqua di Pino cologne from PINO Silvestre. Let's give you the note listing for this one. So again, 2021 release, and the perfumer was Luca Maffei, who also did one of my other favourites, which is Hubigant's Cologne Intense a few years back. So this one was, the note listing is orange lemon, Calabrian bergamot, that's my favourite type of bergamot, rosemary, ginger, iris, sage, green notes, cedar and musk. It's a beautiful, beautiful citrus aromatic, kind of a fruit salad citrusy thing, a little bit like, I think, Xerjoff's Renaissance for men. Shades of that one. A lovely kind of mandarin tangerine feel in the top for me, although it's just listed as an orange note. And I really, really, really enjoy that. It's very fresh, very natural, very juicy, almost slightly sweet, but not in a vanillic way, like a slightly sweet form of citrus fruit. And just a lovely kind of white, clean cedar and musk base. Excellent longevity, amazing price of about £25. Amazing, brilliant release. I really, really, as you can see, I've got through quite a lot in less than 2 weeks that I've had it. It's a real go-to for me. I spray a lot. Acqua di Pino cologne. I've just picked up the Fougere thing that they've done in the same year, this year as well. So I'll be reviewing that on the channel. This is one of been a real highlight of my finds of 2021. Now for something completely different, as they say. This is the incredible, really incredible Laudered from the House of Bortnikov. Now, Bortnikov is the house of perfumer Dmitry Bortnikov, famous for very complex, rich, exotic fragrances. And this one is really, really in that category. So it's not my normal scene, the oud scene. I'm not a big oud connoisseur. This is an utter oud bomb. But if you think Tom Ford's Oud Wood is something really oudy, then you ain't smelled nothing yet till you smell this. This is next level kind of stuff. This is amazing. It is expensive. You can get a 50ml bottle for $350, or it's good that they do a travel size of $90, which is 9ml. This is the other one in the video that was sent to me free, but again, you know, I'm highlighting it because it is remarkable. Let me give you the note listing first. Pink pepper, magnolia in the top, then the heart notes of beeswax absolute, cinnamon, chamomile, Peru balsam and cacao absolute, and your base notes oud from Laos, tonka beans, crocodile wood, coffee, oud from India, vanilla absolute, birch tar and gaiac wood. So this is a real bomb of a fragrance. I'm going to give you the description from Dmitry Bortnikov because he really captures it so well. I think it's a really good description. Here he goes. I have made many compositions with oud. Each of them has its unique character. However, the note of oud in my fragrances had never been so powerful and animalic before the release of the new Laudered. 6 months ago, a magnificent oil from Laos fell into my hands. It smelled of honey and flowers with a characteristic animalic note. I have been lucky enough to visit Laos more than 20 times. This is a beautiful, small and hospitable country, blah, blah, blah. Different trips to Laos, all right, fine. But the oil smells very close to Indian or oud, but much softer. And he supplemented it with the notes of the beautiful Lao coffee and frangipani flowers, the smell of incense that comes from many ancient monasteries and fresh spices, cinnamon and pink pepper. So the new Lao appeared, the new Lao Oud, a walk through Vientiane, an ancient city on the Mekong River, the most oudi and coffee-like animalic fragrance in the Barnetnaughton Parfums collection. So despite him saying it's got this animalic oud, which might put you off, it's really smooth and sweet. I mean, there is funkiness, there is something animalic, but it's not, you know, it's not horrible. It's really, really beautiful. It does have a definite coffee thing. It's almost sort of just a hint of semi-gourmandness, and this incredibly rich, complex, exotic kind of oud note, but it's very warming and accessible, I think, although very potent. It's 25 to 30% kind of levels of perfume concentration, extract de parfum. I mean, if you want to try real oud fragrance and something that is actually quite accessible and nice and likable and wearable, I think, but you might want to be a little bit careful how much you apply. I think Lao Oud is amazing. Maybe if you don't, obviously, yeah, $350 for 50 mil, that's a stretch. But for the 9 mil, for $90, actually, you're going to experience something that is just so amazing and really would give you a lesson in what real oud can be all about. I'm opening my mind up to the world of oud, and thank you to Dmitry Bortnikov for helping me do that. Moving on to something much more typical, and we mentioned it in an unboxing. Rogue Perfumery's Bon Monsieur. Many people were urging me to try this one out, and I'm so glad I did. So I did a first impressions video and I really liked it, but I said maybe it's not doing anything groundbreaking, but it's not trying to. It's just an amazing classical fougere fragrance. It was a 2020 release, so not quite 2021, but it was acquired by me just recently. And of course your perfumer is Manuel Cross, the former chef. He has included here notes of lavender, oak moss fir, rose, geranium, cedar, carnation, bergamot, sandalwood, lily of the valley, musk, and patchouli, and it is absolutely amazing. It's a classical fougere. Think the best version of Drakkar Noir with added depth and richness, and of course he uses real oak moss in proportions that you do not get in modern designer or most niche fragrances, because he doesn't comply with the horrid IFRA bureaucratic regulations. Absolutely stunning, and having now tried it out a bit more, when you wear it on skin or even on the bit of paper if you give it time, but particularly on skin, the depth and complexity in this one is magnificent. So if you think like things like Gucci Nobile that you can't get anymore, if you like the modern Drakkar Noir but you're disappointed that it's a bit thin and you remember the 80s one, maybe it has something unique too in there, but it's just a classic, brilliant fougere with classic ingredients that can't normally be used. Well done to Rogue Perfumery, and you can find the prices of these online, but it's reasonably priced for niche, I think, that one. Just quickly, one other fougere that's kind of underrated, I think, Meleg Fougere. Matthew Meleg, amazing perfumer, and Meleg Fougere gives the Bon Monsieur a run for its money as a typical classic fougere fragrance. Your note listing for this one is lavender, rosemary, bergamot, star anise, sandalwood, frankincense, cedar, musk, ketone, peppermint, essential oils, coumarin, tonka bean. Big blast of peppermint in the opening, and then many of the same qualities I just described in the other one. You know, fantastic oak moss in there, I think. Well, it's funny, not listed in the ingredients, but I'm pretty sure he's used some. I'll have to ask him about that. And then this very fresh, clean, woody undertone to the fragrance, and very green, a little bit more of a unique twist, so it doesn't remind me of Drakkar Noir or anything, but it's very minty, very green, and then this wonderful classical kind of lavender fougere tonka thing going on. And again, he uses really special ingredients that are not the kind of thing you find in your typical designer or mainstream niche fragrance. So this, again, fougere fans looking for a classic fougere, check it out. We got one left, have we, I think? Here we go. No, two left. Okay, Covet by Dua. Some people complain that people talk about Dua fragrances and they're never in the top this or that list. Well, this one does. They've recreated Gucci Envy from Gucci, which is, of course, discontinued. And I love it when they do these resurrections. This is a perfect, as you can see, I'm lucky enough to have the original. Well, a very near perfect copy. that is astounding how they've managed that. I think it's incredible. So 30ml for this, I think it's about $55, but the Dua website often does have a discount available. Your note listing is in the top notes. You've got mandarin orange, black peppercorn and coriander. Then we have rosewood, ginger, lavender, carnation rose, jasmine, cedar and sandalwood. A wonderful classic kind of gentlemanly 90s vibe. It's a little bit sweet. It's got a beautiful sandalwood note. It's sort of a little bit old school. Some people call it a barbershop fragrance, but it's very much a neo barbershop, a sort of a oriental barbershop fragrance, or oriental fougere, I would call it. A stunning, stunning achievement to have recreated that. So if you miss Gucci Envy, I would say get that. Last but not least, Lauder for Men, or Lauder, who knows. Wow, wow, wow. Okay, so nothing really new about this. It just happened that I bought it this year and I really love it, so I'm going to mention it anyway. 1985 release, and it's one of those great, great 80s classics. I just love the bottle design. I just love that simplistic but brutalist bottle design. I love it. It's like a piece of architecture or a skyscraper, which I really like. And let me give you the note listing for this one. It's a bit of a long one. Here we go. So we've got juniper berries, then you have galbanum, green notes, clary sage, anise, lemon, coriander, cardamom, mandarin orange, and in the mid you've got carnation, vetiver, lily of the valley, jasmine and rose. And your base notes, oak moss, sandalwood, patchouli, musk, cedar, amber and vanilla. So a classic 80s semi-powerhouse-ish kind of fragrance, I guess you can call it. Really, really nice longevity for me. Classic 80s vibe. A little bit similar maybe to Boucheron Pour Homme, actually, I found. What else did it remind me of? Maybe if you like things like Givenchy Gazerius, it's in the ballpark of that kind of thing. You could call it a woody aromatic. It's not the most green fougere, but it has greenness and freshness in there. But it has a very warming patchouli, sandalwood, oak moss, amber combination in the base. Very, very good, therefore, for a sort of autumn fougere or even a winter fougere fragrance for us fougere fanatics, which of course I am one of those, and reasonably priced, about £50-ish online. Try out Lauder for Men if you haven't. If you're a fan of my type of fragrance that I often enjoy, you're going to love that one. So guys, let me know what you thought about these selections. That's the wrong Barnetnaughton one. And if you've tried any of them, in the comments down below. I think we've got some absolute stunners, a real variety of styles there, which I do try and bring to the channel. And I'm absolutely loving some of these beauties. Some of them cheap, some of them more expensive, all of them worth it. If you enjoy the description, try them out. Let me know what you think about that in the comments down below. I'd love to see you in the next video. And finally, somebody was very rude about me on a live stream. Joey Cannelloni or something like that, his name. Apparently he's supposed to be like a really funny guy, but I must have missed that on this stream because he just seems to use the F word a lot. And I guess if that's funny, he must be a real talented fellow because it seems to permeate most of his sentences. Here's my TikTok response to his video where he had negative words to say about me. Do follow me on TikTok. There is a link in the description, guys. Thanks ever so much. I'll see you in the next video. Check out this TikTok. Scent of the night, Monsieur de Givenchy, and I'll pronounce Monsieur how I please. A classic scent for a gentleman, and there aren't too many of those about these days. Speaking of which, I've been informed that somebody called Johnny Cannelloni was taking the mickey out of me on his live stream. I went and had a look. It was rather appalling what I saw. He seems to think my videos and my TikToks aren't funny, and he seems to think he's funnier. Well, if using the F word all the time is funny, then you're a bloody comedy genius, sunshine. Apart from that, I must be missing something. As for making fun of my outfits, I'd love to know where you got yours. I know it's October, but Halloween's not till the end of the month. You look like a bloody escapee from Guantanamo Bay. Joey, I've got a message for you. Joey Cannelloni, my TikToks ain't phony. They're funny and witty. Your channel is shitty and you're about as tough as a My Little Pony. Carry on.